down. It's a lot of juggling, you know what I mean? You gotta send the links out, but you gotta have it ready to go. Okay, sweet. Got 3 of us in here. How are you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in. All right. This is Jameson on the Rocks podcast number 12. This is the Edward Van Halen tribute. We're here because yesterday we lost probably the greatest guitarist ever to do it. Probably. In my opinion, for sure. Probably talk about that for a while. I've got a bunch of great guests calling in. Pretty stoked about. I wrote a few things down that I wanted to say about him, his legacy and everything. I'm probably going to play some guitar. I've got the guitar right here. Got it mic'd up. And this episode will officially be out tomorrow. So if you do have to tune off for any reason, you can listen to it tomorrow on Spotify and everything. But yeah, Eddie, 65 years old. TMC broke it. TMZ, my bad. But I'm not too. They say it. I think they went with the grab story, which is that he had metal picks in his mouth and he just held him on his tongue for so long that eventually he got throat cancer, which is like the grabby title. But honestly, it's probably the fact that he smoked cigarettes for like 45, 50 years, as well as drank 45, 50 years. I assume he cleaned up in his 50s. I know I read a Guitar World magazine in like 2013 and he was sober. So although the pick theory, honestly, I don't really know, but it just seems like that's like a really grabby, like, oh, this is why he died, when really it was probably just the cigarettes he smoked and all that stuff. Either way, you hate to lose him. He's one of the best to ever do it. He invented techniques like tapping, tap harmonics, maybe not invented, but he perfected. Tremolo picking, flutters, dive bombs, guitar innovation. He changed the way guitars looked. He changed the way people play them. Dude was just legendary. So yeah, you can't beat him. I wrote out top 3 live videos, top 10 underrated songs, top 10 solos, top 3 live versions of Eruption. And I have a list of people I'm about to start calling because yeah, just want to get into it with some people. I like having guests. I like people. If you guys want to comment, I'll try to answer anything I can. Just a little backstory for me on him. I've pretty much been worshiping him for about 10 years now. I've always just wanted to be Eddie Van Halen, you know. Yeah, I never really wanted to sing. I just wanted to be Eddie Van Halen, man. He's jumping around, he's smiling, he's having a good time. I mean, talk about the master of just having a good time out there. A lot of guys mug around, and he's just smiling away, just timeless. So I'm about to 6:50. I'm about to go ahead and give my first guest a call. We're just starting with the calls, by the way. So if we have some technical difficulties, bear with me. Okay. About to get Mr. Josh Tillman on the phone. Let's see how it sounds. Let me know if you guys can't hear the phone calls as well. Give me a comment.
Hello?
Mr. Josh Tillman.
What's up, man?
How are you doing, my friend? You're on the Jameson on the Rocks podcast.
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be here.
This is such a weird way to do things. This is funny.
I know. It's cool.
I've literally got a SM57 sitting over the phone right now, and you're on speaker.
Oh, it's genius, though. If it works, it works.
See, I don't have time to get all these fancy setups and shit, Josh. You just got to throw a mic on something and go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Hey, that's the rock and roll way to do it.
You know it, man. You know it. Well, you know why you're here today. We're here to celebrate Mr. Edward Van Halen, whom we unfortunately lost yesterday. Where were you at when you heard the news, man? What'd you think?
I was sitting at my kitchen table, just with my family, and we all were kind of doing our own things, and all of a sudden I just looked down on my phone, and all of a sudden somebody put a thing and said, you know, like, rest in peace, Edward Van Halen, and I just it's like I felt like all the blood went to my head, you know. It was crazy. I just did not expect it. It was so random.
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard the rumors that he wasn't doing well, but like, you just don't expect it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, no, I knew he had cancer, and obviously he had been battling it for a while, but I didn't know it was just going to all of a sudden take such a turn for the worse, you know?
Yeah, for real. Because, like, I mean, you've seen that. I don't know if you saw it. He posted a picture, or somebody posted a picture of him on Instagram like 3 months ago. And he was looking pretty rough, but I was like, he's got the money to fight it. Like I just thought that he would make it. You know what I mean? Like you just never think the worst.
Oh, of course. Well,
Yeah.
and I think I saw something. I'm not sure if this is exactly correct, but it said that his cancer had spread to his brain and his other organs and things. And,
I heard that too.
Once something like that happens real fast, I mean, I don't think, unfortunately, it's so sad. I don't think there's much they could do. It just kind of takes them by surprise, which is such a horrible way for that to happen.
It really is, because it's been a while. I mean, he had part of his tongue cut out in like early 2000, like it was probably 2010. I don't know have you read about this? Him getting his tongue cut out?
Yeah, he got that section cut out from the pick.
Well, do you know when that was?
I guess it was a while ago, right?
Yeah, it's got to be at least 10 years, man. So he's had cancer for a
like
while.
That. I want to say 10 years, I think is what I read too online. That would sound about right. So maybe 2010, yeah.
But I was saying at the start, I mean, they say it's the metal pick that caused it, but honestly, it's probably the cigarettes, you know what I mean? Like 45 years of cigarettes and boozing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like is the pick just like a title grab, you know what I mean? Kind of clickbait?
Well, it's true, and it could also just be one of those big unfortunate mixtures of being a 2-pack a day smoker and maybe the pick and all of it had to do with it. But I mean, yeah, definitely. He definitely even said himself, I think, that the alcohol and drugs and the cigarettes probably didn't do him well for the rest of his life, you know?
For sure, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, when I saw TMZ broke the news, I was like, oh my God, is this even real? And then it was. I was like, oh my fucking goodness. Just like walked around for a while. Yeah. I was like, man, damn it. Could have lost anybody. Yeah, man.
With TMZ, I wasn't really sure. I thought, well, okay, this is the first outlet. And they are weirdly usually on top of it when it comes to
that is weird, isn't it?
Deaths of famous people. They're usually the first one. And so sometimes you're like, well, maybe not, or maybe they. I mean, I remember when Prince died, the same thing. It was TMZ.
Shit, man. Well, it's tough. Yeah, but yeah. I just, like you said, me and you were texting yesterday. I was thinking, man, dude, literally yesterday he just said, I'm going on tour with Sammy. I'm going on tour with Dave. I'd have been there. It wouldn't have mattered. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would have been there too.
Just to see him. You know what I mean? That's one of those bands where you could just go see Eddie and you'll have a fucking great time.
Yeah, well, I remember you and I talked about on the podcast we did, I think briefly, we talked about how I'm pretty sure we both went and saw the Different Kind of Truth.
Yeah. I'm wearing the T-shirt now.
2012.
Yeah, it was 2012, wasn't it? Phillips Arena, right?
Yep, and we were, I was like 14, but I had to. I had to see him.
You had to, yes.
Even in the nosebleeds, I was fixated on him the whole concert,
Yes, man. It was like, it didn't even matter that, like, obviously Dave's vocals aren't what they used to be. And, like, It didn't matter. You're just going to see Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Eruption being extremely good that night. I mean, obviously I've never seen him but that time, but, like, I just remember thinking, damn, he has still got it, and he's better. You know what I mean?
Yep. He sat down on the drum riser.
Yeah, he did. Yep. He always takes his in-ears out. Have you noticed that?
He does what?
He'll take his in-ears out right as he's starting Eruption. Watch any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, watch any video from like the reunion tour in 2012, and right before he starts playing Eruption, he'll play a little bit of it, and then he'll take his in-ears out, which is weird.
Huh. I wonder if he can hear it. He feels like it's better.
I don't know.
Hear it that way. Or...
I've never played with in-ears, so I kind of always wondered why he did it.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of guys, they're using in-ears. They're trying to save the little bit of hearing they have left. Mm-hmm. But maybe he just kind of said, screw it when he played Eruption,
He's got to do it. Oh, yes. All right. So let's move on to his legacy, man. I wrote out a shit ton of stuff like top 10 most underrated songs, top 10 solos, albums, live. In your opinion, what is your favorite Van Halen riff, just off the top of your head? I know it's a tough question.
Favorite riff. Well, for me, there's different categories because he was, as a multifaceted player, I can immediately think, okay, Little Guitars. I love that song.
Mm-hmm. Love
Very
that
cool
one.
Song. But then I also go like Center Swing. Also like it just depends. To me, it's like there's the dirt, and then there's he could also. I mean, he was, he can do anything from Spanish Fly and Cathedral to straight up just heavy. So.
I like that answer. There is different categories. There's like the clean, like super silk shit, and then there's the like just absolutely ripping it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very versatile. Great rhythm player. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, it's a one guitar band, and that's all you need because he can do it all. You know.
For real, man. And they sound like a two guitar band. He's so fucking big sounding. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, I think my favorite thing that I just thought of about Van Halen records, which, you know, when I record my songs or a lot of other people's songs, you hear recorded, you know, they usually were, if they're a one guitar band, they record a rhythm track underneath.
Absolutely.
But I thought it was always so interesting that in their songs, 90% of the time, sometimes they would, but there was a lot of times where he would go for a lead and it's just drums, you know, it's Michael Anthony and Alex, and he's enough of a player that he can make up that space.
So true. I mean, it still sounds humongous. You're not like missing anything. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Not many people can do that. Fucking like, when was the last time you've heard a single guitar on a record in the past 15 years? Maybe 20.
Oh no! I mean, people, you know,
Never.
Never. Because
Yeah.
I mean, people layer in the way of doing everything, and
Yeah.
I mean, they cut all those records live. You know.
Yeah,
tape,
absolutely.
So.
That's the way to do it, man. You would never hear something like that anymore. I can't think of the last time I heard a one guitar with no overdubs. Just unheard of now.
Well, he didn't go, okay, let me play the rhythm, and then let me overdub the lead later. No, he just said, let me play the rhythm and go straight into the lead. Just nailed it, you know?
I like how, I think we talked about this on our podcast, I like how they do this thing, they have an echo chamber, and like the whole right side is just the echo. So that's why it sounds huge on the record as well.
Yeah, you pan it like left and right, so you got the guitar in one. Well, if you take your earbuds out, you can just hear the echo, or you just hear the guitar.
Yeah, I think you take the right earbud out, or no, I think you take the left one out, and all you hear is just the echo. And I'd read this one thing that Eddie in like 1979 was riding in a car in Japan, and the left speaker was shot, and he called like Ted Templeman saying like, oh my God, you can't hear my guitar if the left speaker's out, because all I could hear was the echo. And Ted had to explain to him that it was just the reverb, and that's why it works like that. I was like, damn, that's funny.
And it gives, you know, that is a neat technique because it does give him more of a wide.
It really does.
Spectrum of sound, you know, when he's only one player. But he'd have that anyway, man. I guess I went a little far, but if I had to narrow it down to one riff that I think is my favorite of all time, it's probably, I'd have to say Women in Love.
Yeah, that's a great one. Great song. I like the breakdown in that song. Where they're just talking. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, Women in Love's a great answer, by the way. That's in my list of top 10 underrated songs, by the way. But they're really great. It's something I noticed. I was listening today. I just been listening all day, you know. They do really great fucking breakdowns, man. Like right after the second chorus, you know, Unchained, they'll bring it down and get real quiet, and Dave will say some funny shit. They do the same thing in Women in Love, don't they? They kind of cheer for a second.
They kind of do that. The one I can think of is like Mean Street, you know?
Yeah,
kind of gets down, and then it just goes right back up, and you're along for that ride, which is so cool.
Yeah, they're so good at that, man. Just great little songs. They really don't have that many long songs, you know what I mean? I can't think of one over 6 minutes. Can you?
Oh, no. Maybe... Is Hear About It Later a longer one? Because the intro, maybe?
Maybe. I feel like Hear About It Later might be 5 minutes. But still,
maybe 4 or 5.
I don't think they slipped one time and went over 6 minutes. No shit, throughout the whole catalog.
No.
Which is interesting.
Because they're this heavy rock, you know, like heavy guitar band, but, you know, they have that kind of like, not pop sensibility, but they have that kind of accessible song thing. They pack a lot into their minutes. Which is great. Yeah,
it really is. I'd say it's a pop sensibility. I mean, those background vocals sound like Beach Boys pop to me sometimes, you know, like really just catchy as fuck.
Eddie, that's another thing too, is a lot of people, of course, talk about the guitar playing. And Michael Anthony has a big part in this as well. But
humongous.
Eddie and Michael's background vocals they're just phenomenal.
They're tight, man.
It's just amazing.
It's just that three-way harmony it adds another layer to the band that you just wouldn't have had.
Yeah, and people don't think about that, but it's true, you know?
Yeah, it's so essential, dude. And Mike's was even bigger, I'll say, of course. I mean, everybody knows that. Mike's, that high voice he has is ridiculous. But then you've got Eddie just supporting Dave with the third up on just about everything, I think, which is fucking great.
Well, he's playing his ass off on the guitar, you know? I mean, who does that?
He's literally ripping it and still manages to sing incredibly well. I don't know how much you know. I'm sure you know a lot, but like at one point in time, Eddie was the lead singer. Like at the start, have you heard about this?
In the beginning, yeah, he was
Yes.
the lead singer was like a three-piece, like Cream kind of thing.
Yeah, I wish they had a recording of that, man. That'd be kind of wild to listen to.
That would be cool. I bet he has a good voice. I
Yeah.
think it's just the front man persona and the needing to focus on guitar playing full time it's a nice
Absolutely.
relief to have.
Yeah,
But
like if he had to be the singer, maybe he probably wouldn't have been able to innovate as much. Well, he probably still would have put it off, but like it would have held him back a little bit.
yeah, because you got to multitask,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because he had to write the lyrics and or just whatever.
Yeah,
It's it kind of enabled him to really hone his craft, I think, and shine in that way.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I love watching him live on YouTube because, dude, it's like the intro to Unchained or something, and he'll throw just like a sweet ass little tapping lick in there, just like in between
Hmm.
two chords. Like just Dave stops singing for 1 second, and he sends you into some freaking amazing little lick. It's like, oh my god, who does that? Most people would just hold it down and try to make it to the solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. He's an interesting player in a way
Yes.
that my dad, who also plays guitar, we constantly, I won't say frustrated, but sometimes because somebody that's that much of an innovative player, they
Mhm.
play a guitar solo on tape, they put it down, and then the people listen to the record they buy, and they want to hear it like that. But then you hear Eddie play live, and because he's such an inventive player, it's like every time he played a new solo, and so
Yeah,
the listener's like, damn, I want to hear the one on the record, but
yeah.
he's so good and on
It's so
fire. It's like
so fucking
he
good.
can't contain himself.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he'd just be bored if he was playing the same thing every time.
Right, it's not planned out, even though
Yeah,
sometimes I guess we want it to be.
he's got like the form there, and he just kind of stays around it. Like he's too good to play it the same every time. You know what I mean? Like that would just be boring to him. Which is
Yeah,
super interesting
exactly.
because just about, I mean, most other people are just sending the solo from the record every damn night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's
Eh?
not really much play there because they go, I wrote this works, here we
Uh-huh.
go. He goes, well, yeah, I wrote that works, but like, what about this?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes, 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 yes. Do you have any other favorite riffs? I'm sure I mean, obviously there's 100 riffs you like by, but give me your top three off your head. You got
Top three
Women
off
in
my head.
Love.
I wish I could expand on, but okay, I'm the one,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
It's like a blues
Um,
shuffle.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, and it's just and the fast nature of it too is crazy.
God, it's so
Um,
quick.
I've always liked Little Dreamer.
Little,
It's not a hard song,
yeah.
but I love Little Dreamer.
It's a clean little. I mean, I feel like it's an underrated song. I'd say, like, just from that
Oh,
first
definitely.
record. God, that they're killing it, man. It's got a nice build to it. It's a great song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some of my favorites, and I'm trying to think of represent my. And I we talk about Fair Warning the whole because as
Oh
an
yeah.
album that's my favorite, but maybe
Yeah.
individual riff, maybe God, maybe Beautiful Girls. Those three
Yeah. A lot of
riffs.
people say that. I've had a lot of people say that to me. It really is a good riff. I feel like that's a song
That's
that you
great.
never hear on like 97.1 or anything. That's like fucking perfect for radio.
Well, you should.
Yeah, you
It's
know what I
like a
mean?
summer rock,
Yeah.
older, but like
Maybe I
perfect
just don't
song.
listen to the radio enough, but I feel like I just never hear anybody talk about it unless they're talking about that riff at the start.
Yeah, no, and I've always loved that song, and of course like Hot for Teacher
Yeah.
and All Wait,
Yeah,
like
dude,
Keyboard Things.
that's
and
on my
Drop Dead
top 10
Legs.
underrated songs is I'll Wait's on there. That's another one nobody talks about that's fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, that's such a good song.
Oh, it
And
really
even
is.
like the words, Dave's lyrics. It's a good song to me all the way through.
It really is. I had
Um,
read something that he found. It's some poster of a girl he found. He put it on the wall and wrote it about her. So that's what I'll Wait is supposedly about. Have you heard that?
Very cool. Yeah, I think
Huh?
that sounds familiar. Like was it like a newspaper clipping or something?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
it's
something like
article.
that. Just some girl in an ad, apparently. I was like,
Very
well,
neat.
damn, that's
Yeah,
cool. And that's a great
that's
song.
that
That's
rock.
another one you don't hear on the radio that much.
No,
I don't know. I guess
and
I guess I got to stick to the hits.
I think that if I was gonna go into underrated songs, the first one that comes to my head that I love, that I don't think anybody would have probably ever mentioned,
Uh-huh.
is again, Fair Warning, is Dirty Movies.
Woo,
I love
that's a
that
good
song.
one. Great. Oh
Is that
wait,
on your list?
yeah, that is on my list. Yeah, it's low, but it's on my list. I love that one. Wait, is that
That's
the one where
so
they
good.
clap at the end? Yeah.
That's the one where,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
you know, it's like talking, obviously, like up on the silver screen, you know, when they're all
Yes.
clapping, yeah, woo-hoo,
Greatest thing you've ever seen. Yes. That is such a
Yep.
great song. Yeah, that was number 9 on my top 10 underrated. I'm going to give those all away later, so you should tune in on YouTube and check that out.
Of course,
Yeah, we're actually live streaming right now. Did I tell you that? Got a few people tuned in. What's up, people?
Very cool.
And then I'm just going to post it like a regular podcast tomorrow, so I figured this would be a fun way to do it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I like the live streaming. It worked out yesterday pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
So.
I appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in and giving me some good requests. It was a lot of fun.
I just kept typing center swing.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, he's giving me such good ones that I don't know.
No, that's just like that's that again, like I can't stress, I like all the Van Halen catalog and I love Eddie's playing, but that record to me is like it's like that gem, you know, unearthed gem.
And what's funny is it's the lowest selling one.
Oh, I know. I think we talked about that before.
We did.
It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
are you fucking kidding me? It's so
really
good, man. I've got it sitting right here in front of me. I'm going to show it to the people because, you know, I have it on cassette. Did I show you the cassette while you were here?
No, I didn't. I have the LP. Like, I got the vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I've got it on cassette. I got it on cassette at Lo-Fi or Lo-Yo downtown. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Lo-Yo, yeah.
Yeah, it was $5, and it's just a cool cover and everything, so I had to get it. And I'm just looking at this record, dude. This is, I mean, the guitar is just so good on this one. So fucking good, man. We got...
It's the guitar record.
First song, Mean Street. Fucking great song, killer intro. Number 2, Dirty Movies. Great fucking song. Center Swing, Hear About It Later. It's probably one of my favorite songs I ever made. Unchained is definitely my favorite riff he ever did. Push Comes to Shove. I love that one. Do you like that one?
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, not one of my like top spins, but like I still like it in the context of the record. You know,
Push Comes to Shove. It has a really great solo.
Really,
have you ever noticed? That. It's got a really good. He does this tapping thing that's really cool. Like he's sliding down with it. He said it was very Alan Holdsworth or Helmsworth inspired.
Alan Holdsworth, yeah, the jazz like fusion guy.
Yeah, he said it was super inspired by him. And I love that song. That's in my top 10 underrated. I'm gonna give them all away before it's time. But
So This Is Love.
This Is Love, dude. That was a single, and it didn't really do that well. I don't understand.
That to me, if you can mix pop sensibility of Diamond Dave and then Eddie's playing into like a jumpy number, the lead in that song, the solo in that song's great.
It really is.
Fantastic.
Yes. It's upbeat. It's happy. I mean, I don't understand what the radio meant. I think it charted in the low 40s.
Oh, jeez. That's such a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer, but...
Such a shame.
It went platinum. I mean, the record went platinum. It's just their lowest selling one, which is just crazy to me. Because I guess it is kind of dark. The cover is kind of dark compared to the rest of the records. You know, it's a dark record, but still.
Yeah, it's not as... I guess it's not... It doesn't have those beautiful girls or Dancing Night Away kind of tracks.
It doesn't have any party rock, I guess. You know what I mean? In a way.
I think was Eddie's thing. I think I remember reading one time, maybe yesterday, I don't remember, that obviously he and Dave butted heads about the vision and the direction of the band. Mm-hmm. And that was a record where they did because, you know, Diamond Dave wants to do jumpy poppy, you know, like party rock. And then you've got, I mean, Eddie's just, you know, he's a musician a million times over, you know? Mm-hmm. And that record's kind of like he kind of won out on that, which is awesome for us.
I think so, yeah.
To me, it worked out.
I think so, for sure. Dude, this is the first record with overdubs, I think. Or the first record with a lot of overdubs, my bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they didn't just cut it live to tape.
Yeah, I think it was mainly just in the solos, though. That's the only time you really hear him do it. He'll lay down some rhythm in the back. You know, he's getting more experimental in the studio.
You know, but that's when it works out good for us because if they only ever made the first couple Van Halen records, it would still be legendary. But for me, like in my listening, it's just like that record blew me away. Boy, it was really like wow.
Every time. The weakest song on there is One Foot Out the Door, and it's not terrible. It's just not something I'm turning on.
No, it's just you're not gonna go pick it out of the context. But you know, if it plays on there.
It's
all right, you know.
I mean, and that's not bad. We're talking about, let's see, what is that? 9 out of 10?
6, 7 song, 9, 9, like whatever.
Fuck's sake. I mean, that's a great record. I mean, and I did read that they made One Foot Out the Door. Literally, they just needed another song, so Eddie had a synth riff, and they just fucking did it in 10 minutes, which is crazy.
Build it up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes it happens.
Have you ever heard the story? I guess this is 81 this came out, or 82, that Eddie that he mentioned to Gene Simmons about leaving the band and joining Kiss. Have you heard this?
Yep. Yeah, because Ace Frehley's going to leave or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. This is the same period. So Eddie was thinking about leaving the band in 81, man. He made it 3 more years.
3 more years.
Thank God.
Well, yeah. Well, and then, I don't know if you're much of a fan of the Hagar era is the Roth era. I mean,
I enjoy it. I'll listen to it.
But I do like it.
I do like it. I like 5150. I like OU812. Those are great records. When I think of Van Halen, I think of that original lineup.
Oh, of course.
As everybody does.
There's nothing wrong with them, but they just don't have the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Hagar, he's great, dude. He's a good singer. He's a way better singer than Dave is in theory. You know what I mean?
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and 5150, I feel like 5150 is definitely their pinnacle with him, in my opinion. I mean,
there's maybe a handful of songs after that are good, but they're not.
Yeah, the albums start kind of going downhill. The idea of the album is a lot lower, the quality, I think. But like 5150, it's got Summer Nights, it's got 5150, it's got Why Can't This Be Love?
Best of Both Worlds, good song.
Best of Both Worlds, great song. It's got that one song with that weird guitar on it. It's a good record. I think it's really good. I think it's a great listen. If I'm in more like I won't say romantic, but like not party mood, like I'll definitely turn on 5150 and be like, oh, here's some good piano ballads that are great.
Yeah, and the keyboards are things because like as a pretty much classically trained pianist, I mean the dude's a definitely he's no slouch in the music department besides the guitar.
None at all.
It's funny that people are like, it's not really I'm tuned out because there's piano. It's like, but if he's still playing the same songs like Van Halen 1, it's not going to be a progression.
Yeah, true. I mean, he just didn't want to keep doing the same thing. I understand that.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, the first 5 or all the records with Dave, except for maybe 1984 and Fair Warning, are pretty fucking similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Diver Down's kind of weird, but
it is
I'd
kind
say
of weird.
The first 3 are pretty much the same.
Pretty much, yeah. Like they just kind of had them all done. They went in there and they did them live. It's them, occasional acoustic song. I mean, they're all fucking great, which is amazing, honestly. Nowadays, if you're a band and you don't fucking innovate every record, you're like, damn, every song sounds the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Well, look how close they came out. I mean, you got to think
like
each of these records came out like close to a year calendar date, and you got to think, okay, they were touring, and then they also had to write the songs and go to the studio and record them, and then get it pressed. And I mean, it's like every 6 months you're pretty much done with the record to get ready to get pressed out.
Yeah, fuck. There's only so much time for innovation in there.
It's unheard of now. I mean, unheard of.
I don't know how long. I think it took him 14 days. Not even. I think it was 10 days to do Van Halen 1. Have you heard this?
No, but I believe it.
It's like the first 3 records are like a stupid number, like less than 3 weeks. All 3 of them, I'm pretty sure, to record them, which is fucking nuts. As good as they sound, dude.
No, and that's the thing when bands are like playing on the road, like especially like probably a road heavy band, like they're probably on tour for a year straight.
Oh yeah.
They get off, and just go.
Because I feel like Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2 are super duper similar. Because I feel like they were all written in a relatively close time. You know what I mean?
Well, and some of them, if you've ever seen like on YouTube, they have like old bootlegs and demo tapes.
The Gene Simmons demos.
Songs on the first couple records were all pretty much around at the same time. They just picked the track listing and kind of switched them around.
I believe it. I've heard that there's songs on 1984 that they have demos from in the 78. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And some of them, they kind of like float around. They go, oh, this one doesn't fit right now. Let's change the name and move it somewhere else.
Yep. That's crazy, man. That's such a wild way to do it. He's the greatest to ever do it, man.
Yeah, he was. He was, as a player and an innovator. I mean, you got everybody from, I was so surprised, everybody from John Mayer to, I mean, Keith Urban, you know what I mean?
Yes.
On Instagram being like, oh, this man was, the best. It's just a testament to his playing.
It really is, man. The outpour on Instagram and everything was incredible. Like, just people I never would have expected, like fucking Kenny Chesney and just people I know that I was like, damn, I didn't even know Van Halen ever touched them, man. And they were all posting just like, the greatest, which he is, I think. I think I'm gonna make a video after this week as to my argument as to why he's the greatest. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I think as an innovator, I think definitely one of the. I mean, you've got your classics, of course, that they progress in a way, but no one ever really came along and all of a sudden he said, "Hey, this is how it goes," and then I'm just going to do a complete 180, and then everything changes.
Yeah, because you listen to
crazy.
It's so crazy because you listen to shit that's coming out in 77, 78. You're listening to like Aerosmith and Kiss. You know what I mean? You listen to those records, that's good guitar. And then 1978, you listen to Van Halen, and it is a fucking way step above. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's a world. I mean, I can't imagine what it would. I mean, I guess we kind of did get a similar experience when we put in Van Halen, one for the first time, heard Eruption. But
absolutely.
I can't imagine hearing all the guitar from that era and then plugging in that song and just being like, jaw hits the floor.
It's got to be just life changing. I mean, it was for us, and we heard it, and we'd heard other shit. Like we've heard 40 years more of music, and I remember where I was when I heard Eruption. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
Exactly.
Because I mean, you listen to guys like, Keith Richards, and I don't know. I guess Jimmy Page is on top in 77.
Oh, Jimmy Page, Keith Richards, Clapton, David Gilmour. I mean, you got these great players, and I love all their styles, and they innovate in a way, but it's a slower evolution than one guy that just walked up and just said, "Hey, I'm going to flip it on its head."
Yeah, and honestly, he probably had it for a good couple years before that. Honestly, he was probably ahead of all of them in 75. You know what I mean? He just wasn't signed.
No, and he was, and the thing too is interesting is they have songs and demos and stuff where he doesn't use tapping technique, and it wasn't part of his arsenal in like 75.
I've heard this.
So you go, okay, between 75 and 78 when the first record came out, he somehow found the technique, adopted it, ran with it, and then revolutionized it. And you're like, oh my God, like in like 3 years.
Yeah, just fucking.
It's crazy.
He's a semi-genius, man. I mean, it's just, I had read something about that too, that like, I think there's demos in 76 where he's not tapping. I think it's somewhere in a 2-year span of 77 and 78. He takes it and he figures it the fuck out, which is insane. And I know he used to turn his back to crowds and clubs so they couldn't pick up on it and stuff, which is smart. Because, I mean, by the end of the 80s, fucking everybody's tapping. Everybody's trying to sound just like him. Everybody's got the super strat with one pickup, you know what I mean? Just change the game.
Exactly.
Well, Josh, I thank you for calling in. I got a bunch of other callers that I want to get to, so I'm going to let you go. Is that good, man?
Of course, man. Thanks for having me. I'm glad I could talk about one of the guys that, obviously inspired us all, but made a big impact. So I'm glad we could celebrate it that way.
Yes, man. It was a great talk. You brought some good stuff to the table. I might call you back if we run out of callers so we can talk again.
Yeah, man. Just let me know. Sounds good, buddy.
Dude, I always thank you for coming on, Mr. Josh Tillman. I'll see you later, my friend.
See you later.
Bye, buddy. That was Mr. Josh Tillman for you guys. What'd you guys think? Goat. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the bathroom right quick, and I'll be back, and we'll have caller number 2, which is Mr. Lee Miller's coming on. So you guys stay with me. I'll be right back. What's up? What's up? Thank you guys for sticking with me out there. I see you three. Drop me a comment if you're having a good time or something. Maybe a thumbs up. Been drinking this shit, man. It's like lemonade weight loss shit. Not that I need to lose weight, but it just gets me fucking hyped up. All right. Made a quick share to Instagram. I'm going to try to get some more people in here. About to give Lee Miller from Gibson, Georgia a call. See what we got. Let me know if that audio is okay too, if you guys need any sort of audio update.
Hello.
Mr. Lee Miller.
What's going on?
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm verticaling on this side of the dirt.
You love to hear that. Well, you're on the Jameson on the Rocks podcast right now. What do you think?
Oh, man. It's the first time I've ever been on anything like this.
Well, I'm excited for you, man. I'm glad we could finally get you on. You offered to let me do it at your place, but I done moved back to Athens.
That'd be a little bit of a drive.
I sure would, wouldn't it? Just for a podcast, right?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Well, right now I got you hooked up. I got my phone on speaker and I got a microphone hanging over it, so this should do the trick, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, man. You know it. You know why you're here. We lost the great yesterday, Mr. Edward Van Halen. Do you have any Edward Van Halen memories, stories, favorite songs that you like to share?
Oh, man. All I know is I can tell you I was 16 the first time I ever heard him play, and it was just like a light switch came on.
Oh, man. What year is this? You're 16. Is this 78, I guess?
Good. Man, come on. We're talking the 80s.
Oh, yes. The glory days.
Yeah.
So you hear Eruption. Did you have the vinyl?
No. It wasn't that bad. But it was on cassette tape.
I got a cassette tape sitting right in front of me. Fair warning. That's my favorite record. You got a favorite Van Halen record?
It'd have to be the original.
That is a great one, man. God, it's so good. Front to back.
Yeah, I think it was just the tone that he was putting out at the time, and if I remember correctly, he never could replicate it because had something new when they were in the studio making it.
Mm-hmm.
They just had a bunch of gear they were using, and he didn't keep up with how he put everything in.
Yes, I've heard something about this. That he had wondered.
He was using like a MXR Phase 90 and a couple other little, gizmos that had been tweaked on, and never could replicate that sound again.
I've heard that as well. That they had a trouble. Like it's an interview. I think it's in '79 where he says that he still can't get it back to that brown sound that he had on that first one. Honestly, they all sound pretty similar to me, but it's kind of crazy that he thinks he can't get it.
Yeah, and he was a big gearhead. Really big gearhead when he was finally able to afford some of the material, because a lot of his stuff is just the tone is just coming from his fingers. Oh yeah. Fingers more than anything, which is something that took me a long time to learn. You know what I mean? It's not all about the amp sometimes, man. He could play through any rig. It's going to sound like him. Yep. I've heard several guitarists who had the opportunity to, play through his rig. Really? They said, it just sounded like them playing through something. I bet that's like the biggest. Go ahead. One of them in particular was Nuno Betancourt. He had the opportunity. I think they were doing a record somewhere in LA, and they were in the studio the same time that Van Halen was in there, or at least Eddie was in there. Yeah. And he actually pulled him in and told him, pick up his guitar and play his rig, and said that's what happened. He hit a couple of chords there. Says the biggest moment of his life, he's sitting there playing through his idol's guitar rig, and it sounded like him. It didn't sound like Eddie at all. I bet that was a major bummer, you know what I mean? Like, we just fantasize about his rig and just being able to play it, and then you plug it up and you just sound like normal. Yeah, no kidding. But it is. There's so much that just goes on between that fretboard and the fingers that actually makes the tone that it is. There's a bunch of really great videos on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen him. There's this guy named Rick Beato, and he has one where he's talking about him and Eddie and Don are in the studio doing Van Halen 1.
And Don tells Eddie that the closer he can get the microphone to the speaker, the better. And Eddie takes out a pocket knife and literally cuts the mesh out of his cab. Just cuts the front out of it so he can get it even closer. I was like, that's fucking insane. Dude's just cutting up his Marshalls.
That's what he did.
That's wild.
He did stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading yesterday just how he was putting together the Frankenstrap, which is he built his own. He built that guitar because he wanted the Gibson sound, and he liked the way the Stratocaster felt, and that was the whole premise behind that. Him building that,
which is genius. I mean, by the end of the '80s, everybody has one.
Yep.
And they still look good. I mean, it's still like just a popular, and it's like the shredder, you know what I mean? It's great. I've always wanted to get my hands on one of those Kramers, that like the Kramer model that they made after him.
Yeah, no kidding. And then now he's got his own line out. I think I can't remember.
Those things are sweet. Have you looked at the website on like the Kramer 5150, or not the Kramer, like the EVH 5150 series?
No, I hadn't. I've seen them, but yeah. I hadn't.
They're pretty damn sweet. They're shaped exactly like the Kramer he used in '84. And I got to hold one. I was in Nashville at the Guitar World. They had one. And it's a pretty damn sweet guitar, man. If they made it left-handed, I'd get one. But
that's right. You're lefty, aren't you?
Yeah, man. So I can't get into these cool guitars, you know. I got to get the lame ones. That's why. Well, I got this Destroyer. There's pictures of him. You might have seen him in around '76. Before he painted the Destroyer that he has. It's an Ibanez Destroyer. And he cut it out. You know the Shark guitar? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so that's why I got this one, because I just always wanted one after seeing him play one. And he says that he cut that chunk out of the body of that one and it ruined the tone. But I don't understand that, because he plays it on You Really Got Me, and the chunk was already cut off. So I don't understand what happened to where the tone went away.
Yeah, but isn't that the one that's got a metal clamp where it holds?
Yeah, it's got like clamps on the back of it. Yeah, it's really cool looking.
Yeah, that's some innovative stuff he was doing. Then he's got his own. I think the wildest thing he's done is that with the 5150 amp series.
Oh man, they're great. I've got one. He sounded. They're all Fender made amps, you know what I mean? But like he really turned them into a top tier amp, which is amazing.
He did what he was able to just milk out of that thing.
For sure.
And then the next ones he went at just a little bit more, and then
he just kept
the
going.
last series were just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's like he turned his passion. Well, obviously music is passion, but like he turned, like once he stopped touring and stuff, he like turned his focus to like making great equipment for people to play, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, yeah, the latest 5150 have like a ridiculous amount of gain and power. Have you ever played one?
No, I haven't. I've wanted to, and now since this has happened, you probably won't be able to buy one for anything now.
I was lucky enough. I got one from a guy on Craigslist. They retail for about $1,500 for 50-watt head and the cab, and the dude was selling it for like $650, and I went and got that thing as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, that would have been a steal.
And then I got my buddy. Have you ever read up on the variac he would use? Like he would soak the power down in the tubes and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know which one he used, but I mean, I'm familiar with the
concept.
With those, yeah.
Yeah, I got my buddy to build me one of those. I take it real easy. He would soak the shit out of them, which he apparently was a big part of his sound at the start. But I take it real easy because those tubes ain't cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You smoke a couple of those, and it'll definitely let you walk around a little bit lighter in your wallet.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. You ain't kidding. Yeah, so but it does, when you hook it up to that variac, man, it sounds darker. It sounds really angry almost. Like it changes things, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if he kept using it after Van Halen 2, but I know he used it on Van Halen 1.
Yeah, that would have to be by far my favorite.
I think it's the best selling one.
Album.
Have you ever heard that? I think it's Diamond. It's rated Diamond for 10 million sales or 20 million.
Yeah, I never did
I know they sold a whole pile of them. I didn't know which one went more than the other. But I know that was the one that I had heard first, and I was 10 years behind at the point. So
I mean, front to back, just filled with great songs. I mean, Jamie's Crying, You Really Got Me. It opens up with Running with the Devil, which is probably the most badass intro ever. Eruption, song number 2. God, just fucking amazing record.
And I don't think he ever played Eruption the same way twice.
I don't think so either, man. You never hear him play it like the record.
It was just something different with it every single time. I've watched a ton of videos with him playing that, and it was always just something. There's something different. I forget. There's a word that he used for it.
Noodle?
No, it was almost like it was a disease where you couldn't play the same thing twice.
That's funny.
Anyway, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, it is.
Just to hear the way he would just do it differently, and it was all, you could tell it was all the same. It was different, but at the same time, at the heart of it, it was still all the same.
Yeah, like he has the framework there, and then he could just elaborate on it as much as he wanted, which is fucking awesome.
And you knew it was him playing it too.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, did you ever get a chance to see him live?
No, I didn't.
Oh man,
I was going to try to do it one time. It was back in, I think it was a late 90s, but never did, and I'm kicking myself in the foot for it.
Yeah, you hated it. Well, before the podcast, I actually wrote out. You said you've watched a lot of Eruption videos?
Yeah.
Okay, well, me too. I've watched as many as I can. I got my top 3. I want to see if you recognize any of them. But, okay, my top 3 live versions of Eruption are Us Festival in 1983, Live Without a Net in 1986, and there's a version with terrible film and audio quality, but it's in 1978 of him playing it, and he's got the black and white guitar. Those are my 3 favorite versions. Have you seen any of those by any chance?
I never keep up with the names.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty impressive that you kept up with the names. I have no clue about the names of them. The one I like though, it was really, really poor quality.
Yeah.
You could just hear it, and it was just ridiculous. And I guess a lot of the stuff from them, I don't really like a lot of the main. I guess the biggest album I like is the first one, which I guess is really mainstream one. But a lot of the ones that I like really didn't garner a lot of playtime.
Yeah, it seems like the same way for me too, man.
That's just like when the guy from Extreme actually was the lead singer for that one album.
Yeah, Van Halen 3, I think. Gary Cherone.
Van Halen 3, yeah. There's a song off that one. I don't even remember what the name of it was, but I mean, it was pretty darn neat.
Yeah. I think there was one on there called like Guns or something. That was the only one I like. It's something about a gun. I can't think of the name.
I can't remember what it was, but
yeah,
I think it was like Without You or something. It was a pretty long tune too, like 6 minutes and 30 seconds or something.
That's surprising. We were talking about that earlier. That I don't think any of the Dave records. I don't think they have a single song over 5 or 6 minutes, man.
There was.
Can you think of one?
It was that. Me Wise Magic. I think that's
Me Wise Magic. That is a long one. That's a good call. That's on Women and Children First.
Greatest hits. Like anyway, that's the one where they kicked Sammy Hagar to the curb after that.
That's it. Okay, so yeah, that's the last one, right? That's the one where they have the single with Dave and they have the single with Sammy on the greatest hits one.
Yeah, they kicked Sammy to the curb. I think that was like the straw that broke the camel's back with him, because they were supposed to do that tune for Twister. They were supposed to.
Oh yeah, gotcha. I've heard this.
Something to the effect of, they wanted him to come in and, try to write that song. They wanted it to kind of fit in with the tune Twister, but they didn't want it to, start talking about tornadoes in the music. And he came up, started writing stuff, and it was about a tornado, and they didn't have much time, so they took it, ran with it, and just kind of exploded after that.
That's hilarious. I didn't know. I knew that there was something to do with that movie. I didn't know that was the exact details on it.
Yeah, I remember reading that. It's been a while back. But anyway, that's something that I read in it. But on the same note, though, I also just watched something a little bit earlier where I think Sammy Hagar had released via some type of conversation he had with Howard Stern that he and Eddie Van Halen had actually buried the hatchet.
I watched this video today too. That he said that they had been texting.
Yep.
Yeah, which is great. I didn't know that. I'm glad. Because I know a few years ago, Sammy wished him a happy birthday. I remember where I was when that happened too. I was like, oh God, I hope Eddie responds and they get back together. And Eddie never responded. So I guess they've been talking, which is great. I mean, I'm glad they buried the hatchet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Lee, it's been great talking to you. I got a bunch of other callers on the line I want to get to. Thank you for stopping in, man. You had some good insights. It was fun talking to you.
All right. I appreciate it, bud. Thanks.
Yeah, I hope I can get you on another episode sometime now.
All right. Just let me know.
See ya, man. Take it easy.
All right. Bye.
Bye. That was Mr. Lee Miller. That was a fun one. He knew a lot more than I thought. He's got the insights, Thank you, guys. What's up? How are you guys doing? Drop me a comment. I see George's comment now. I wasn't paying attention. He said this man ain't watching his chat. I'm multitasking, George. Come on. I'm about to get Mr. Jeffery Vernon on the phone. Let's see. If you're enjoying it, give me a thumbs up or something, a comment. See who I can get on the phone. Oh, back's hurting.
What's up, JMO?
Yo, Mr. Jeffery.
Am I live on the air right now?
You are on the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. How does that feel?
It feels so good. I feel so alive.
Oh, man. I've got a SM57 hanging over my phone on speakerphone right now.
Dude, as a recording industry engineer, professional, as a certified recording engineer, I full-heartedly approve this.
This is genuine. This is analog, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is how you do it.
This is the deep cuts, man.
Well, dude, I'm so glad you could join me. Today we're here, unfortunately, because we lost Mr. Edward Van Halen, as you know, yesterday. So, do you have any Edward Van Halen memories, songs, favorite riffs, favorite solos, anything you'd like to discuss with me? Let's do it.
Oh, man. Oh, I don't even know where to start.
For real.
I'm on the streets of Athens right now. I'm trying to, I've got my laptop out here. I was gonna do some mixing here outside of Clayton and Jackson. Anyways,
you're trying to get some fresh air.
Say again.
You're getting some fresh air while you mix.
Yeah, and some guacamole, man.
Good for the soul. Good for the soul.
I think the main thing for me was I was just so surprised at how viscerally emotional of a reaction I had to when he passed, because
Dude.
I didn't realize how much he influenced my guitar playing.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Because I would do all these fun things where I would make the guitar go zero and and I would always try and make the craziest sounds I could.
Yes.
And then yesterday when I saw the news, I was just that's largely why, I think.
I think so too, man. Dude, he's so he was just doing shit that was just unreal.
So yeah, and here's the thing I think they probably know, but the thing for me that separates him even further is not only did he innovate on that level, but he had control of it.
Oh, man.
He could pull out the tools. He didn't just push the creative boundaries, but he pushed the discipline as well,
Yes, yeah. I don't even think he thought of them as tools, you know what I mean? He was just how he played, which is crazy. He would tap in the first verse of a song, which is just unheard of, you know what I mean? It's just fucking unreal. He'd just be ripping it.
Yeah, just his uses of distortions and harmonics and
yes,
the whole thing, man, the whole 9 yards. And I do not pretend for a second to be a Van Halen buff at all. Favorite Van Halen records, Van Halen 1, and it's just I don't know. I think that, when that album came out, a new sort of higher ideal of rock and what kind of metal music could be, you know?
Yeah, I think at the time they would have considered it heavy metal, I'm pretty sure, don't you think?
I think so.
Because I know they headline festivals, and it would be like a heavy metal festival, and Van Halen would be on the top, which is wild when you think about heavy metal now. But I mean, songs like "I'm the One," that's heavy. That's fucking heavy, man.
Yeah, exactly. We'd go there, but they also still have like the major key tunes, and so it's like pop metal.
Yeah,
and
like
it's polished.
it's great, man. Like "Dance the Night Away" and "You Really Got Me," dude. Just fucking great songwriting, great everything.
It's also just absurd. Like, I know Eddie's the one who died, but like the whole Van Halen family. I mean, the fact that like you know, that they were as talented as they were, just as a family, is kind of really interesting. You know, it's like the Jackson Five almost.
Yeah, it really is, man. I mean, the dad, brother, both brothers. I mean, Alex is a great drummer too. I don't think he gets enough credit, really.
Yeah, right. But I mean, if you're like playing in a band with Eddie Van Halen, like,
that's true.
You know, like how do you expect?
It's got to be tough to be playing with an absolute virtuoso. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's what I think is so like striking to me about that album is you just look at the front cover and you get those like pictures of David Lee Roth, Eddie Van Halen, and Alex Van Halen. And you're just like, and I don't know the bass player's name. I'm sorry. Shout out to all bass players everywhere whose names nobody can remember, including me. I have at one point been that bass player.
Big bass guy.
But yeah, just you see each image of each instrument, and then you have somebody playing that instrument that's pushing the boundaries of it. I think that's kind of artistically is really cool the way that all came together, you know?
Yeah, and they were just a great band all together. I mean, dude, when I don't know if you saw, like, Dave doesn't really use Instagram that much, but David Lee Roth, he said, like, it's been a long, strange trip or something yesterday, man. I got teary-eyed. I was like, because you know they were boys back in the day, before all the shit happened. Just missing his buddy now, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened with David Lee Roth leaving the band. I have no idea.
It's a long story. Probably shouldn't get into it.
No, it's quite all right.
Do you have a favorite riff? Top 3, maybe?
Gotta stay with Running with the Devil, dude.
God, that's such a great one.
I always thought, before I saw the track list, whenever I would hear it on the radio or wherever the fuck I would hear it, I guess, I always thought it was Burning with the Devil.
Burning with the Devil.
Literally, that's how I thought it. That's what I thought the words were for years.
That's hilarious. How about the start of that, dude? That car horn sound. The very start of it, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
They say it's like some car horns that have been slowed down and played backwards.
Yeah, that makes sense for what it is. It almost sounds like what do you call it, a Doppler effect. But it was funny yesterday. So my pastor, right, my preacher, I was raised Episcopalian, so you can believe that. But anyways, so he calls me and he's like, "Hey man, like I need your help. We've been swapping emails for the past week or so, and I've sort of like designed a system for him for my church to meet outside because they haven't been able to meet for this whole like year." And I was coming to do like a walkthrough with like the vestry or whatever, and I was just jamming out to my favorite Van Halen song, "Running with the Devil," on my way to my church to like install a sound system to have a socially distanced church service, which anyways, I got a chuckle out of it.
That's hilarious, man. It doesn't seem like a negative song, you know what I mean?
No, it's interesting. Yeah, I think devil can symbolize a lot of different things.
It's such a great one, man. That bass at the start. I mean, all he's doing is hitting a fucking open string, but it sounds so badass.
Dude, less is more. Less is more always.
Less
I think.
is more. Yes.
What I was thinking of and going to say though was just like I also realized yesterday how many Van Halen songs that I knew.
Yeah, I saw you posted "Where Have All the Good Times Gone."
Yeah,
I love that.
Well, I think that was more just sort of thematic for like the fact that like you know where we are right now in history. But
I think it's a Kinks cover, isn't it?
Well, You Really Got Me but Where Have All the Good Times Gone? I don't know. They did a lot of covers now that I think about it.
I think that's a Kinks song. Hold on, let me look it up. It's a great song. They do a great version of it, though. 1 second. I wish I had Jamie from Rogan to look this up for me.
So how many people have you had on the podcast this evening?
Oh, we've had a few people in and out. We're live streaming on YouTube. I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, it's a Kinks song, by the way. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Originally by the Kinks, re-recorded by Van Halen in '83.
You're the Van Halen buff. I apologize I didn't tune into your live stream yesterday because it would have driven me crazy to like watch someone else play Van Halen songs because all I wanted to do was like shred on some Van Halen.
Yeah, dude, it was so much fun. Like I just played I'm a huge Van Halen buff, as you know, so I played like 15 or 20 songs, man, and like people were requesting shit, like deep cuts. It was awesome. Josh was on there, Mr. Tillman, you know, and
oh, yeah.
I was like, damn, Josh, we should get you and Jeffrey over here and we just come play them together. But
Josh could sit on the drums or the bass or the vocals or anything because he's Josh.
He's Josh. He can do everything, man. He can do everything.
All right, I feel like you got probably better Van Halen chops than me.
I've studied him, man. He's been my dude for a couple of years. You know, everybody's got that one guy they're kind of weird about, that they just obsess over their music. That's been me with Van Halen.
Jeez, man. Well, I think it's great that you know we're just like taking this moment to really acknowledge the impact that he has because I don't think there's try and think of any other guitarist that like has actually innovated and like been a legend to that level. I don't think there is either.
That's what I'll argue with people all the time. Like just before this, like people try to tell me that like Slash is the best guitarist or some shit. I'm like, dude, look at it, and there's only two people that have absolutely changed the game. And that's Edward Van Halen and Jimi Hendrix, in my opinion. But like you look at like the songs that are coming out in 1978, they're Aerosmith and Kiss. You listen to that guitar, and then you listen to Van Halen 1 year later, he is worlds ahead of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like just the guitars, like by the end of the 80s, everybody's using the same kind of guitar as him. The way he innovated amps, I mean, just the tapping, tap harmonics, tremolo picking, flutters, dive bombs, all that shit, dude. I don't think anybody comes close to him.
Yeah, I think it's like this, right? So I think the common thread is that like these guys would just hold the guitar in their hands and all the time, everywhere they went, they just had a guitar with them to the point where it was just like an extension of their self.
Yeah.
So it's like, one, I should do that, but two, it's like I think there's something else to be said for like guitarists that find themselves and their own sound within the instrument more than they find it like studying music from someone else. You know what I mean? Because think about a Carlos Santana solo, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like you can tell like 2 notes in who's playing the guitar. It doesn't even matter what the notes are. It's just the way it feels and sounds. You can tell who's playing it.
Uh-huh.
I think you can tell when Eddie Van Halen is just even holding a guitar because it's already just like screaming. You know what I mean? You
can sense it. There's something in the air.
Exactly.
And I mean, there's nobody that sounds anything like him. Anything like him.
Right. I think he pulled it off because it's easy to dial up gain and then just have everything become a mess. But like he had it like a refined chaos, you know?
Absolutely. And all the time, I mean, his stage performance is still just amazing. He's jumping around, he's doing spins and shit. He's smiling his ass off. I mean, you gotta love that.
I was thinking about the exact same thing today, bro, with like how heavy my Les Paul is. I was like, okay, if I were to just like jump up and down, like I would be dying. You know?
And he'll do like fucking, you see videos of him in the 80s, dude, he'll do like 3 or 4 scissor kicks straight. I'm like, dude, how is my boy not gassed right now? I would be out of breath. Just legendary, man.
Coco, man.
That'll do it, man.
And it was funny too because everyone's like gone too soon, and then like every video you go to watch of him live, he's just like chiefing on his stove. It's like, okay, well, you know.
I don't know how long you've been tuned in, but like earlier I was saying that like they're trying to claim that it was because this metal pick in his mouth that he held in his mouth. That was the TMZ story. But honestly, it's probably just because he smoked cigarettes for 50 years. You know what I mean?
Well, it's one or the other, man. I don't know. People are saying. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess I don't actually know, but I feel like it's definitely not just the pick in the mouth. I'd say 50 years of boozing, drugging, and smoking cigarettes did not help.
Bad for the body, good for the soul.
Good for the soul. He made some great music on it, man. Boy, did he.
Can't burn out if you're not on fire.
You love that, yeah. It's better to burn out than fade away. Is that right? What's that quote? I think that's a Cobain quote. But anyways, Jeffrey, thank you so much for coming on. I got a few other guests I'd like to get on, so I appreciate you for coming in, talking to Van Halen with me, my friend.
Yeah, man. Take it easy. Appreciate you having me.
It was a good time, Mr. Jeffrey. You take it easy now.
All right, man. Peace.
See ya. That was Mr. Jeffery Vernon. That was a good one. We've had some great guests so far. Damn, I just need a breather. I'm about to get some water if that's cool. Thank you guys for staying with me and hanging out. Drop me a comment if you're having a good time. I'll be right back. Oh, still with me? Let's see who I'm about to call now. I've got my friend. Oh, I got to call Charlie and Bryce. Let's see. Hold on. All right, Mr. Bryce, let's see if you're watching. Who's out there? Give me a comment if you're still out there. Let me see what you got. Maybe even a like, anything? It's like a ghost town.
Hello.
Hey there. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Mr. Bryce Burnette, you were on the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great.
No complaints?
Nah.
Have you been tuning in?
Yeah,
I saw your comment.
The burnout or fade away quote, that's from a Def Leppard song.
Oh, you're right. I feel like it's is it Photograph?
No, it's Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages. Okay, but I think they say it there. I think they quote it. I think it's a quote from somebody else because they say it at Kurt Cobain's funeral. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Have you heard this?
Wrote it in his suicide note.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So I'm sure it's somebody else quote. Yeah, that's a good catch though. I was wondering. Nice call. Good call, Bryce.
Yeah.
So Bryce, I know we got to jam some Van Halen tunes yesterday, which was fucking amazing. But you have a favorite Van Halen riff offhand? Top 3, top 5, anything?
Let's see, 5150.
Well,
let's see, what's that? I was just trying to learn it the other day. It's off the 1984 album.
Panama.
Not Panama. It's
Hot for Teacher.
Drop Dead Leg.
Top Jimmy. Drop Dead Legs.
Yeah, it's Drop Dead Legs. So it's 5150, Drop Dead Legs, and I love Spanish Fly off the second Van Halen album.
That is a good one, dude. He is absolutely ripping that acoustic guitar.
And I personally think Spanish Fly is better than Eruption.
Somebody said that, or you think that?
I think that because I mean,
can see it.
Spanish Fly, I mean, you could tell, he was going for this Spanish-y type, flamenco type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Eruption, he's just, ripping it out.
I think Spanish Fly is more impressive just from a player's standpoint. Like, holy shit, it's hard to play an acoustic guitar like that.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Anyone try to play on an acoustic guitar, it's I think the lightest gauge strings on acoustics are 12s.
Yeah, I can't play Spanish Fly with the distortion and the volume of an electric guitar, you know what I mean? It's more impressive playing wise, but I like Eruption better just for obvious reasons.
Everyone likes Eruption, it's the rite of passage,
Yeah, it's really everybody knows where they were at when they heard it. Anybody who really loves guitar or was inspired to play by it, I think, kind of remembers the idea of hearing it for the first time. It's pretty dude, that last 30 seconds. When the tapping kicks in, I think it's at a minute. That's my favorite 45 seconds of music right there. It gives me chills when I listen to it. The tail end of it, dude, it's so fucking good.
It is, it's great. And from what I heard was they were doing the album and he was just, messing around in the studio and someone said, hey.
Yeah, I've heard this.
We're going to record that.
Yeah, it was Ted Templeman said it. And Eddie still claims that he messed up the end of it. Have you heard this?
I did. I actually watched a video about it.
Yeah, he claims that there's a part around the minute mark where he hears a mistake that he made and it bothers him.
Yeah, it's when he's tapping. He accidentally hits the G string.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna have to listen closer. I've never really noticed.
It's so minute. Like I never noticed it because I mean you think eruption, it's such already a complicated. Well, it's not even necessarily complicated. It's just so fast and flashy that it blows you away.
Really, man, it's just crazy. I'm gonna have to listen closer. I've never noticed the G string hit.
I never did either until a guy pointed it out in this video. He was saying, there's a mistake in it, and it's at this moment. And I'm like,
it's at the exact number mark?
No, I don't remember what he said, what minute mark, but it's during the tapping.
Gotcha. Let's check. God, it sounds so great. Do you have a favorite, like, I don't know how much you've watched them live. Do you have a favorite live show you watched online or anything?
I like the...
I guess that's not a fair question, but I was just curious if you did.
There's so many of, like... I really like the... We watched it the one time I came over. It was the 1983...
Us Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best one for sure. Yeah, it's 1983 at the Us Festival for about 1 million people. Is fucking fantastic. God, it's so good.
And then Live Without a Net.
Do I know?
I said then Live Without a Net.
Yeah, Live Without a Net is fucking fantastic. That's my top 2. I don't know if you heard me say that earlier, but yeah, that's my top 2. Live Without a Net, that's the Sammy Hagar era. So he starts like mixing things up. He changes the form of it.
Yeah.
But dude, at the Us Festival, he does the shit where he runs the amplifiers and kicks them and they almost fall. And then he does the Mean Street licks where he like does it and then he lets the crowd cheer. Dude, he is on fire that night.
And it's so interesting because, it was still early in their career. I mean, 5 years, 5 years into their career, and he's still hungry.
It's really not long at all, man. They made the climb to the top pretty quick.
I mean, the band was like thrown together in, I think, 1974, I want to say.
I think that's right. It sounds right to me.
And like, I think it was 74 when it was just Eddie, Alex, and this other bass player.
His name was, he recently passed away too, man. His name was Mike Stone or Alex Stone or something.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, he passed away about a few weeks ago, man, which is sad, dude. The whole original lineup will be gone sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, David Lee Roth, he might be next.
He might live forever. He's too happy. Well, he's big into like health and fitness and shit. So maybe like, I don't know. Maybe he'll just live longer. You never know. I guess that's a hot take, but like, I know he's a big fitness buff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe Sammy Hagar. Well, I would hope he doesn't kick the bucket.
He drinks a lot of tequila, man.
Mas tequila.
I've always wanted to go down. They have those little Sammy Hagar like birthday bash things at the Cabo Wabo in Mexico. I'd love to go to that. That'd be fun. Like him and Mike get on stage and they bring a shit ton of people and they film it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That does sound pretty cool. I think of all the Van Halen members. I feel like Sammy Hagar is probably the nicest one out of them all.
He really does seem like a nice guy. It's got to be either him or Michael Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, not to say, it wouldn't be Eddie or Alex, but I just feel like you could probably approach, Sammy Hagar. He seems like a dude you could have a beer with.
Yeah, he does for sure.
Think you're famous.
Yeah, Mike too, though, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely Mike. I don't know much about Michael Anthony. That's why
Have you read the book? Don't you have Running with the Devil, the book?
No, I actually might go and buy it now that Eddie Van Halen's dead.
Well, shit, you can borrow mine. I just need it back. I mean, I've still got your book, but I'm working on it. Let me go get it. Hold on. Stay on the phone real quick.
All right.
I'll be right back. Okay. So, Running with the Devil. I left that one at home, actually, but here, I have 2 really good ones that you should read. This one right here is one of the best books I've ever read. Van Halen Rising. Have you heard of this one?
Nah, I haven't.
God, if you're on the live stream, you can see it. I'm holding up, but how a Southern California backyard party band saved heavy metal. Dude, it's so good. It's the story from like 1974 to 1979. And then I've got this one, which is Edward Van Halen, A Definite Biography, which is pretty fucking good too, but not as good. It's just the Eddie Van Halen story.
See, I feel like I really hope, since Eddie's dead, I mean, not, rest in peace, but I hope Alex or Michael Anthony or David Lee Roth write like a band autobiography, kind of like The Dirt.
I feel like Dave definitely should. I mean, I don't know if Alex or Michael would. I don't know if they're really interested in it, but like, honestly, other than that, excuse me, there's a shit ton of tapes in Eddie's studio that could be released. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's like there's so many.
Wolfgang probably, I mean, obviously he probably won't hurt for money.
No.
I feel like if they, if the band decides, hey, let's release some of these, these tracks, like they could do it.
Yeah, I mean, he said it for years that he has a wall of tapes in 5150 that are just unreleased, which blows my mind because, like, just drop. I don't care what it is, dude. If it's just him playing for fucking 6 minutes, I don't even have to have a vocal. I'll listen to it.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, because I heard the same thing. He recorded like all these tracks, and he said, "Oh, it's so much easier to just write a new song than to figure out what you played on this recording that you made like 15 years ago." And I'm like, he's so right.
Especially when you play like he does, man. It's got to be tough to fucking figure out what you were doing.
I mean, on my old phone, I had like 15 songs. I had like recorded like guitar parts, like, and I couldn't. Like, I only remember maybe 3.
They just disappear.
Well, I got a different phone, so I couldn't bring them over with me. I'm sure they're like still tied to my Apple ID, but I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, it's like if they don't make it out in time, they just disappear sometimes.
Yeah, and my cousin, he always said if the song is good, it'll stick with you.
That's true. I believe that 100%, man.
I think like any great idea, it'll stick with you.
It'll stay. All right, Mr. Bryce, I'm about to get off the phone. That was a good little talk. Thanks for calling in, my friend.
All righty.
Thank you so much. That was a good 10 minutes. I appreciate that. You had some good insights. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. It was nice being on.
I got a few people in the comments want me to play some Van Halen, so I'm going to have to play some for them right quick.
All righty, sounds good.
All right, you take it easy, brother.
You too.
Bye. All right, I'm about to play some for you if that's okay. Let me know if this audio is okay because I'm not really sure how well you'll be able to hear it. Let me know if you can't. Okay. For all of you that have tuned in this long, I very much appreciate it. I had a great time talking about Van Halen. I still got one more guest I got to call. I actually forgot to message him today, but how well can you hear that? Give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear that. Unchained? Hold on, I'm out of tune. Need to be louder? Alright, I'm back. Any Van Halen requests, I'll play them. But I was going to talk about his techniques, man, just for starters. Obviously, everybody knows tapping, but like, just the crazy idea of taking this finger, inserting this into your nut up here. So now he can move his nut around along with that note if he needs it. You know what I mean? And he can let go and add another note. Which is kind of what he does on Hot for Teacher. pretty damn genius. And then he takes it and he says, you know what? If I hit the note a couple frets down, a certain amount of frets down, it'll make a tap harmonic. So natural harmonic with your tapping. Pretty damn badass, isn't it? I mean, it's just impressive. And then, I mean, obviously other people, Jimmy Page did some tapping stuff, like he just grabbed a note. Eddie saw him doing it and took it to the next level, which is impressive. And I mean, even more with the harmonics, he would do this shit. Just running his hand up. Running his hand up and down. I think he called that a flutter, which is impressive. Tremolo picking. Dude was just legendary. I butchered it. Fucking love that song. Oh yeah, Snake Chokehold. Beat It solo. I got you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. That's such a tough one. Like, it's a fun one to play, but it's in his top 3 for me, solo-wise. He's on it. Let me tune right quick, I'm sorry. Apologies, I was just atrociously out of tune. Alright, Beat It solo. Let's do this. request. Nice one, dude. How you like that? Alrighty. I think that's pretty good. You guys have any other requests before we go? I appreciate it, Choco. That's nice. Alright. Thank you guys all for tuning in. This has been Jameson on the Rocks, episode 12. Wow, shit, I gotta call my buddy Charlie. I almost forgot. Charlie's gonna be pissed. Let me call Charlie and we'll call it a night. If he answers. Here we go. Moment of truth. Twitter at Jameson Tank 27, I think. Mr. Charlie might not answer.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
In his defense, I did forget to text him the actual time of this thing tonight. So that's my bad. All right, let me check my Twitter handle. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, at Jameson Tank 27 if you guys want to follow me on Twitter and subscribe on here. Yeah. I appreciate you all tuning in. This has been Jameson on the Rocks, episode 12, in honor of Mr. Edward Van Halen. Got to play some Van Halen tunes, talk about his legacy, how great he was, just everything he did, man. Yeah, it was great. It had a bunch of great guests on, Mr. Bryce, Jeffery, Vernon, Josh Tillman, Mr. Lee Miller. Yeah, we had a great time. Had just a fantastic time playing, talking about Mr. Eddie, man. He's the greatest to ever do it, in my opinion, and his music will live on forever. So, yeah, y'all take it easy. Thanks for tuning in. It's been Jameson on the Rocks, episode 12. Hour 30, that's pretty good. See ya.
You do want to hold.